So we got lucky today because we're here in the LA studios.
Yeah.
And they're doing Hotboxin next door at Tyson.
Yeah.
And the Undertaker is in there.
Yeah. Are you going to fight him?
No, but he said when he's done there, he's going to come in here. Welcome. Here we go.
And I'm not Tony Hawk. Before we get into today's episode, here is a quick message from our friends at MoneyGram.
Living in a digital world, you need everything within a tap of your finger.
I'm a physical world guy, and I know that's not true for crypto. It's tied up online with no easy way to bring it into the real world.
That's why we're excited to share that you can now cash in and out of select digital wallets at participating MoneyGram locations without a bank, credit card, or debit card.
Flex your finances using the only digital wallets with real cash access activated by MoneyGram. Learn more at moneygram.com/stellar wallets.
And check out the link in our description. Now let's get into the episode. I saw him walk in and I just saw Rick Thorne.
Yeah.
Rick Thorne dropped off some photos because he did that 8x10 collab thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Rick. He's like, hey, what's up? I go, because I was sitting next to him.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to the Undertaker. He was here in this building.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, this is my friend Rick. And he's like, what's up, dude? What's your name?
And did he say The Undertaker?
No, he's like, oh, Mark, how you doing? And then,
not here.
And then Rick left. And 2 minutes later, he's like, dude, I just realized that's The Undertaker. Dude, I can't believe I asked his name.
He could just be a big guy in a flannel. You don't know that.
There's actually a BMX trick called The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. But
Oh, well, I guess I know where that came from.
So that's on Rick, but we'll tell him the story when he gets here.
Yeah. I wonder how much harder his slap would be than Jamie Hayter.
Oh! I don't even want to venture to guess.
He was thinking about fighting Brock Lesnar.
Yeah?
Like in a real fight.
Really?
Yeah.
The Undertaker?
Yeah. That's what I heard. I saw one time Brock Lesnar beat someone up, and then when he was leaving the cage, he walked past the Undertaker, and the Undertaker was like... and the guy next to him said, what's up? And he's like, well, we've got unfinished business. He's going to fight in the UFC, and then it never happened. But if he thought that he could beat Brock Lesnar, or just at least not die, then he must be gnarly. Like, he might be able to beat me up.
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's taller than me.
Right. Yeah, he's a huge person. That's kind of how that goes in that game. You got to be
in that game.
Huge. And if you're the Undertaker, you can't be small. That wouldn't make any sense.
True.
Who are you taking under? You know, you're a little guy. But if you're a big guy, you can take anyone under. Well, I'm excited.
Did you ever watch any of their events?
You're asking me, have I ever seen the Undertaker in action? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm aware of the Undertaker. Yeah, I feel like I've seen him in some cage matches. I've seen him come out of the roof, I think. Yeah, he might
come out of the roof.
He does
drop from the ceiling.
He comes out of nowhere. Like 1 minute it's no one there, and then it goes dark, and the light comes on, and there he is, creepy.
That's his brand.
Yeah, if I was married to him, I'd be scared because you never know where he's going to pop up. You know, you could be in the bathroom.
He's just always in character.
Doing a poopy, and all of a sudden the lights go off and they come back on, and there he is, and you're like, ah, man.
I'm so glad he's not here to hear that.
It's not going to happen. He's not here. So glad it's not happening. Wait, the light went off.
The light's off.
I can't see anything, you guys. Holy!
What's up, guys?
The Undertaker is here. I told you.
He
was not believing you that you were here.
The light thing is kind of it's a hard habit to break.
Yeah.
Always
Well, we were just talking about your entrances and how epic they were, and so we decided that we should try to make it work here. We turned them off once, and you didn't show up.
My timing isn't quite what it used to be with the lights out.
But it still works if you try hard enough.
If you try hard enough, it'll work its way out.
I was
Thanks for
saying to
joining us.
Tony that it might be scary to be your wife because you could appear out of nowhere like if she was in the bathroom doing her business, and then all of a sudden the light went off in the bathroom, then it came back on, and you were there. That'd be very scary.
It would be probably more scary for me. She don't play she don't play that Undertaker stuff. She would probably just kick my ass and send me on my way real quick.
So you're saying that you cannot intimidate your wife with the Undertaker? It doesn't work.
It's a funny story. When she came to the WWE, she was a wrestler as well. And when she came to the WWE, there was two people that she did not want to meet. One was Kane, my brother, and the other one was obviously me.
Because you're scared. You guys are scared, creepy.
Yeah, creepy.
Hey, you pop up out of nowhere. You guys are terrifying.
Well, yeah,
you're always killing people, talking about death. It's terrifying.
We're all into our own things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she would find out that Kane's probably one of the nicest guys that she's ever met, and then she ended up marrying me. So, you can't judge a book by the cover, right?
Guess not.
I'm a big old titty bear.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody bought that. That's all right. That's all right.
I saw a long time ago Brock Lesnar, when he was in the UFC, walk by you and you stared him down, and someone asked you a question. It looked to me like you were like, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna mix it up with this guy pretty soon." And I was like, "Really? Was that real?" Like, 'cause
I was there. No, I was strictly there to pick a fight, but I pick a fight on our format, not his format.
Okay.
And it took, I don't know, we did that and then nothing happened.
What do you mean nothing happened? You didn't do the fight, or
no, not till years later we didn't. Unbeknownst to Vince or myself, like Dana had no clue what was going on.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow! You did a little inside promo.
Yeah, and we weren't aware of the fact that Dana did not know that I was gonna do that.
Yeah.
And
how was he about that?
He was not happy.
Right.
Yeah, he was not happy that
he gets
somebody
unhappy about things sometimes.
that some guy from the WWE is challenging his biggest draw, and but we thought he was on board with it, and everybody was.
I would have thought that it was a win-win for everybody.
It probably could have been, but again, it didn't happen. For years. I mean, it was years later before he got out, or he left UFC, and then came back to the WWE. So we jumped the gun a little bit on the timing, but
I thought it was a buzz in the MMA community.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I
was like, are they gonna sign you? Did that ever?
No. It was too late in the game for me to switch over and train for an MMA fight.
Do you train any of that stuff?
Yeah, I used to quite a bit.
Okay.
I used to, I used to box quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
And I do some jiu-jitsu there now. But my joints are so beat up now that I don't.
Yeah.
I'll do it like for a workout. I'll hit a heavy bag now and then. But yeah, I don't.
I think it's amazing the punishment you guys go through, but then to be. Because we go through punishment, but I also know from being a little bit heavy for a pro skateboarder that it's a harder hit, and you're way bigger than you're way bigger than anybody that has ever been a pro skateboarder.
Yeah,
how are those slams?
Yeah, I mean
for a big guy,
but I guess it all kind of weighs out. Like we're hitting usually on a mat, you guys are hitting concrete and rails.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
We had that conversation with Darby, but the consistent abuse and the consistent night after night after night. I mean, you were doing it at a time when no one was really getting much break, right?
No. I had early on in my career with WWE, I had an 8-year stretch where I averaged 250 dates a year.
Dude.
I would go out.
And some of those are like cage matches and stuff.
There's cage matches, but they all kind of run together because there was a time I did 35 nights in a row.
That's unreal.
And that's a different city too.
So no time to heal and rest.
No.
You're just straight on the plane.
No, you're straight on the plane or you're straight in the car. And we didn't have. I mean, it's really cool now to see how our industry has evolved.
Yeah.
In the sense that now we have doctors that travel with us. We have trainers that we have a medical team that anytime that something happens now, there's somebody on it immediately. Early on,
You guys weren't icing and stuff, right?
Oh no, I mean, you weren't icing. We weren't doing anything,
Right.
but just trying to strap it down and do it all over again the next night.
Right.
I had an injury. I was in Springfield, Massachusetts. I was wrestling a guy by the name of Mabel. He was my height, which is about 6'8", 6'9", but he was like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was just grossly out of shape. His cardio was horrible.
Yeah.
And so, and that's usually a lot of the times that's how injuries occur when somebody's doesn't have their cardio and can't keep up in a match. And this is exactly what happened. We're in the match and I'm flying around and he was supposed to be someplace
He
and
didn't get
wasn't.
there in time. Right.
So he tried to compensate, and instead of hitting me, with this part of his arm, he lunged, and I'm coming off of the ropes, full steam, and basically run right straight into a big punch. Hand hits me in my eye socket, and then I have an orbital blowout fracture.
Yeah.
Right. We get back. So I think I've just caught one, right? I'm going to have a shiner. It is what it is.
No, not with that.
We're driving back. We were kind of staying in Boston and making all these little towns around Boston on this particular loop. And my manager, Paul Bearer, was driving. I'm sitting in the car. And I didn't even really blow my nose. I just kind of went like that.
Knoxville.
That's how you do it.
And
fighters do it all the time.
My face it blew up.
Yeah.
And so I did have a bag of ice. So I put the bag of ice back on it. It goes back down. And if I sneezed, anything my whole face just puffed out.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not smart enough at that particular time to realize that there may be something wrong with my with my face. But
it didn't affect your eyesight?
that one didn't. That one didn't. I end up.
How many times you broken your orbital?
I've broken both of them.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So I wrestled 2 more nights. And
how doesn't it blow up just shaking your head?
Yeah. It would, but it was. Back then our mentality was, if you walk, you go to the ring.
Yep.
Because it's when you don't show up to events, and we're struggling it too. Our business isn't like it is now. So anytime that you miss a show or something like that, it adversely affects the next time we run that city, because people will think about like, well, I bought tickets to see such and such, and he didn't show, so am I going to do it again? So there's that mentality. You got to go to the ring. You got to work.
Yep.
It's what's best for business. And but anyway, so I'd worked 2 more nights, and I don't even remember what town it was, somewhere up there around Boston. And I was going to meet one of the other guys at a bar after the show, and we were staying in different hotels. So
rest up.
Yeah, we were going to replenish our fluids. And I couldn't find the bar. And so I'm driving back to my hotel. It's about 12:30, 1 in the morning. And I see this, it's a kind of a rural area. And I drive by and I see a sign that sticking out, it says hospital. I said, you know what? I'm going to drive through there. And if there's nobody in the emergency room, I'm going to go get this thing checked out.
Yeah.
Because I know something's not right. I just don't know what it is.
Broken orbital does give hints.
So I drive in there. There's nobody in the emergency room. I park, I get in, I go. They give me a CAT scan. The doctor comes out and he goes, well, you've lost about 50% of your orbital floor. I'm like, excuse me? He goes, yeah, you need to go home and find you an ophthalmologist and a surgeon. And, comes to find out, I had to end up losing 90% of my orbital floor.
So what are they?
My optic nerve is setting right on top of a jagged piece of bone.
Oh my God.
If I'd have got hit in the right side of my head again, there's a good chance I'd have lost my eye. And so anyway, it took 2 surgeons. They go in, they pick out all the bone fragments, and then they put in a
fake one, right?
Yeah, put in a fake one. And then years down the line, so he was one of the bigger guys, and then one of our littlest guys, like Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
he's a tiny guy, sweetheart of a guy. He ended up jumping off of a top rope. And his ass was supposed to hit me in the chest, but it hit me right in the face.
Wait.
No way.
You got your orbital broke by an anus?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't even know that was possible.
That's a very specific area
That
of the
is
ass, though.
It
incredible.
was a little dude. It was about like this
Must
bony,
have a hard
bony
ass.
It was a bony ass, and
Yeah,
it was right on the bridge of my nose.
Right.
So he lands, and then he drives me. I got all of his weight on my head, and I hit the mat and blew out my other one.
Did you know it at that time? Since you've already been through
I
it?
didn't know. I knew it was like possible, but it broke my nose, and I got concussed all on one deal. I did. You could tell.
That is a hot
Next
ass,
level.
man.
Yeah. We talk about a lot of injuries on the show, and I don't think we've gone into this territory.
Yeah. I've never been injured by an anus.
Yeah, it's hard being injured by an anus.
I would wear that with pride.
But yeah, my nose was broke. I fixed my nose right there. I just squeezed my nose back, and
Was there a risk that your face would be lopsided from either of the fractures?
so this one, the second one, and to this day, and this has been years. I mean, this has probably been 15 years ago that happened. I still have double vision.
Really?
Yeah, so I can look straight, and I'm fine. But to look kind of like at my peripheral vision, everything becomes opaque.
Oh, harsh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like that, if I look up, it's opaque. Anything to my side. So I continued to wrestle. So then, from that point forward, I had to make sure that, I couldn't just rely on my eyes. I had to turn so that I could always make sure that everybody was clear and I knew exactly where everybody was at. So,
well, that's why I'm not wrestling, because I can't turn my neck that far to look at people straight on. So.
Yeah. How's your neck? Because you guys always hurt your neck too, right?
My neck's jammed up. I need new knees.
You haven't had new knees yet?
No, not yet. I've put it off.
That's cool.
But it's getting to a point now where I think, I need quality of life, right?
And they're getting better, man. Every year I keep seeing people that get knee replacements and hip replacements where they're back and like better than ever.
Yeah. My hips, I've already redone my hips. I don't have full hip replacements. I have what they call the Birmingham hip resurface. And that's where they go in. I got a zipper like that on my hip where they go in. They take the head of the femur, they take all the arthritis and the scar tissue off of it.
Yeah.
They drill a hole in it, and they put a titanium cap right over the head of the femur. And then they go in the acetabulum. They do the same thing. They clean out the socket part, and there's a titanium cup that they hammer in there.
Cool.
It's awesome.
You got on both?
I got them on both sides now. That's the only way I was able to keep wrestling. If I'd had total hips done, I wouldn't have been able to wrestle. But
it's so wild that just thinking about from the time you started when it was not established, when it was all very renegade, and like you said, there's no doctors and whatever, but to push through, I mean, you told me it was almost 30 years in the ring, right?
Yeah, over 30 years.
Over 30 years in the ring.
Yeah. 34.
But to persevere through that seems like against all odds.
It's been crazy. Like, I think I'm a lot tougher than I am smart. I think, which we all are.
Yeah, I feel like that helps for this particular.
Yeah, I mean, because
lifestyle. You
have to. You realize, like, okay, this comes with it.
Yeah.
Skateboard. Falls come with. I mean, it's inevitable. It's part of it. You accept it, and that's kind of my mentality. Is like, okay, you want to do this. This is your passion. This is the downside.
Yeah.
And then I never made any. I always knew at some point I was going to have joints replaced, but it was worth it.
I was gonna say that's like to justify it. Like, people look at me like, why would you keep hurting yourself? And like, how can you justify it? And I'm like, it's the greatest thing. I'm positive that the greatest thing that will ever happen to me is that. And if I limp or I'm in pain when I'm older, it doesn't bother me. Like I'm like, well, but if you were completely healed and you weren't in pain, but then you take away all the things that I got from skateboarding, I'm not making that trade. Like, I'll hobble. I'll go to Colombia and get stem cells.
Yep.
I got friends, we all talk about knee replacements and this ain't working and I'm getting this. Well, this is the game. This is what it's kind of a badge of honor.
You do.
I like my friends when they tell me that their leg doesn't work anymore and that they're trying to get it to heal. I'm like, yeah, man, I get it. I can't look behind me anymore. This is the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it is. You hit it on the head. It's kind of our badge of honor.
Right. Because it's not easy.
No, it isn't easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right. That's why we're here, crippled.
and laughing about it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
'cause it's still not
But you get a lot of good stories.
amazing.
I mean,
stories.
you're doing a show now, telling your stories.
yeah.
right?
So for my character for 30 years was the Undertaker, right? And for 30 years, I said nothing like this. Like I would never sit down for an interview like this or I would never put myself in that situation. Only thing that people got.
Was that a relief though back then?
It was a lot of work actually, because I lived my TV character even in public.
I see.
Although I didn't wear like my Undertaker garb,
But you
in
were
the
recognizable.
airport,
I mean,
but you knew who
Yeah.
that was because I was I had a long black leather coat.
Yep.
It was it was.
what we did the DraftKings commercial because it's out now.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw you from a distance, I mean, I didn't follow wrestling, but I was like, oh, there's the Undertaker.
That's
He's
that
here.
guy, right.
Yeah.
But that was that character was so over the top and so ominous. Like, and I wish I could say that I was smart. I wasn't smart, but it was just something that clicked in me. It's like, you can't be this guy on TV and then be walking through an airport with shorts on and a floral print shirt and then expect people to be invested in what you
But
do.
especially in those early days when it was all the rage or whatever, all the controversy was like, is it fake?
Right.
Is it not fake? And it's just like,
Do
who
you
cares?
want to wear shorts and a floral shirt?
Deep down, I do. Yeah. No, absolutely. No,
One day,
that's-
Undertaker. One day.
One day.
Let it go.
Yeah, what do we? My wife and I, we go down to Turks and Caicos. I let it all loose. I break out all the floral. And everything.
But you don't take photos.
I don't take photos though. I'm smart.
See what you're doing.
I get. You see what I'm doing
Yeah,
there?
no, smart. Yeah.
So
You stay scary, man.
Yeah.
The lights come off, you show up.
Be smart, don't start. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. All the phrases we've heard 100 times to stop bad habits.
Bad habits can be hard to kick. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission.
Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one.
Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electric device designed to transform your negative habits.
Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors.
Ooh.
Delicious.
Fume's new version 2 model has an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap. Your fingers will always have something to do. Man, I need this.
The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who have successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work.
Head to tryfume.com and use the code HVW to save 10% off when you get to the journey pack today.
That's tryfum.com and use code HVW to save an additional 10% off on your order today.
Tony, we should have started this whole podcasting thing sooner.
Why? Because we'd be way better than we are at it now?
No, because I would have had a full head of hair if I had known about our new sponsor, Nutrafol.
Well, I think we should have had to start podcasting before podcasting ever existed for that to have happened. Ooh, I didn't write that.
Well, for everyone else out there, Nutrafol has the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage.
Nutrafol's hair growth nutraceuticals go beyond genetics to multi-target the root cause of thinning, including stress, hormones, nutrition, metabolism, aging, and lifestyle through whole body health. That was for both of us. We're both
Okay,
aging.
Nutrafol is also trusted and recommended by more than 3,000 top doctors.
You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com/men and entering the promo code HawkWolf to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time.
Plus, free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com/men, spelled Nutrafol.com/men, promo code HawkWolf. Now, back to the show.
The stories, that's kind of where we're at now. Like I'm kind of coming to grips with the fact that this is where we're at with social media and all of that. So people are just clamoring to hear what I have to say because I didn't say anything for 30 years about things. So I'm taking around it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a TED Talk by a pastor who cusses a little.
Spoken word.
It's just, but it's kind of me telling my stories, the things that people wouldn't necessarily think of when they think of the Undertaker character. I've got a show coming up in Montreal, and Montreal was just one of those towns that I'm sure y'all have been there. I mean, it's a good town to go have fun in.
Yeah.
And I did. I had a lot of good times. And, so I'll be able to elaborate on some of those stories.
Right.
And share those. And people, I don't know why, they seem more interested in that content than our actual wrestling content right now.
Yeah, because it makes the wrestling even cooler to know that you guys were wasted and hungover and showed up and kept going. It's more of the rock and roll story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you like puppy dogs?
Do I like puppy dogs?
Yeah. Like, would you befriend a puppy and hold it and stuff? Or would you eat it?
Depends on what kind of puppy it was.
Like, do you like kittens and things?
No, I don't like kittens. No,
Right.
but I like dogs. I love dogs.
Are you saying that because we're being recorded, or like is it off cam? You would like wear a floral shirt and pat a kitten, or you hate?
No,
kittens?
I would wear a floral shirt and pet a dog,
Right.
but not a cat.
Not a cat guy.
No, not a cat guy. No,
Okay.
no.
We're not all cat guys.
It's
He's a cat
I mean,
guy.
I don't
I'm
judge
not a
you.
cat guy. I'm an animal guy.
No, I'm an animal guy. I love animals. I just don't particularly like cats. But
Fair
I
enough.
don't judge.
I thought the
You're
cats
all,
are
if you like cats, that's all you, brother.
Thanks, Undertaker.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You have his permission.
That means a lot.
That does mean
I can't
a
wait
lot.
to go home and tell my cats that I got approval to like them from the Undertaker.
It was really cool when I got to meet you at the DraftKings shoot. You and I took a photo together, and I sent it to a couple of my kids. And from their reaction, I could tell that, oh, this is a big deal to have a photo with you. And so I put it on my social media, and it's the most liked thing that I've ever done, pretty much.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
No, well, no, I'm glad.
Wow, can we take a photo after the show, Undertaker?
You should. You should.
I didn't know it was like that.
It's weird. I think that more so that it just kind of shows the arms, I guess, that wrestling has.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People kind of like, everybody has, like we were talking about a little earlier, like people have all these preconceived ideas about what wrestling is and what it isn't. And, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed at the athletes that show up at our live event, our events. I mean, it's just, and athletes and entertainers from other genres too.
Yeah.
And just watch them be little kids. It's
Yeah.
crazy to see, all these football players, like offensive linemen, big, huge dudes that their sole job is to protect that quarterback, but just see them on the front row and just all again, like they're 12 years old and just having a blast.
Because when I watched it, that's when I was a little kid, and it was like, you guys are the coolest guys on TV. So even when I got older and wasn't following wrestling, I still knew it was just like a part of it. It's like, maybe I don't have a U2 album, but I'm pretty freaking aware of U2. Like I'm aware, I knew. And then now that there's social media, I've seen a lot of fights that I didn't go to, but I've seen it. I'm like, whoa, you guys jumped off. I didn't know you guys jumped off cages that high. Like, and then I start watching. So I'm aware of a lot of slams that you guys have done. And I was at one point being a pro skateboarder and then a pro fighter. I was always talking. It's not even real. It's not a real sport.
Right.
And then I had some friends in MMA, had some wrestlers that were there talking about the continuous beatdown. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could see that. Okay, I'm starting to accept it. And then I went to wrestling school and did because I was going to do a wrestling show. So I did the work to try and learn how to suplex people slightly correctly so I didn't get too buckled. Right. But from doing it, I was like, I'm really sore. The next day I was like, I am really sore. You know what I don't want to do right now? Wrestle. And that's when I went, wow. When you start talking about 300 days.
Yeah,
and
I mean
stuff,
that's
just
insane. We did our Boom Boom Puck Sham tour, which was the most exhausting, the most effort, the most a game that we have ever done, night after night.
Right.
And we could only do 4 nights in a row.
Right.
Before we had to take at least 1 or 2 days off. And even then, we're still tired from those shows. I can't imagine that you guys just went night after night.
Yeah, you look back at it now and like, I don't know how we did it.
Whose idea was it to be that tough? Like, why did you all agree to just, like we said, 4 days and I can't walk? Why didn't you all say on the 4th day, hey, Vince, baby, can we take 1 day off? And he says no, and you all go. Like somebody's like, I feel fine, let's go, and you go, okay, then so do I.
Yeah, that's kind of I mean, it was the game, and to be at that level, you just did what you kind of.
I'm sure
told.
it felt
There's
like
no union, there's no anything else, so it's like, okay, these are the bookings. This is what you've got to do. So we went out and did it, and it's just. I wish I could say, we were tough, but it was just what was expected. And
was there ever times where you were all mangled, sitting in a room, going, like, Nick, we're ready. You ready? And it's like, but holy, like, no,
all the time, man. You stay.
Don't touch this side.
Yeah.
Was there ever
this
that?
side? Yeah. Stay over here. Over here, not so much.
Don't touch this. Don't touch that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, there's just certain times that guys have had to go to the ring with really significant injuries,
right.
and you know that, and you try to work around it as much as you can. But I remember getting my ribs broke, and
to wrestle with broken ribs.
Oh my gosh.
There's not one part of wrestling that doesn't involve that hurting.
Oh man. And
not one part.
They found me a flak jacket, right? Like the quarterbacks wear.
Yeah.
When they get their ribs dinged up. So they
so they try to strap it down.
Yeah. No,
I know.
When you have broken
If
ribs,
you
can't
sneeze,
breathe.
it hurts.
yes, you breathe, you sneeze.
Yeah.
It's
You
and
can't laugh. You can't do any of that.
And I'm working with a guy at the time, his name was Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Who was like 6'4" and 600 pounds. Big Samoan dude, right?
600,
Dude.
Do you know what's 600?
It's a
so
lot.
Crazy.
It's a lot. But he was crazy athletic, even for at that size.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's amazing. It defies what your brain can actually reason. Like there's no way that he should be able to move the way that he could.
Yeah.
But that being said, too, anything he does to touch you when you have broken ribs is just like, it's like it feels like a dagger stuck in
You'd
your
have
ribs.
a pretty tight relationship with these guys. It's like you're going through war together for decades.
For a long period of time.
Like, hey man, my ribs are broken, so work with me, put on a good show, but also try not to really kill me because I'm dying.
Yeah.
That's a lot of trust.
There is a lot of trust there,
Yeah.
and it does sometimes. It takes that kind of cooperation to get through. And
Right.
But 30 plus years, you must have seen quite a few come and go in that time.
I've seen guys come and go, come back again and go again
During whole
my
tenure.
my
that's
tenure.
wild.
I was there nonstop for over 30 years, so I saw them all, man. I mean, you name them, and from 1990 to the present, I've seen them all. So it's
Wow.
it's been nuts.
Did you slow down when you got older in the partying thing to keep okay? So at one point you got serious when you got older.
Yeah, and it just kind of happened. It wasn't like a decision that I needed. I just stopped for, and then once I became happy in my personal life too, things. There was just
no need to run after the show anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit in the enjoyment of your existence.
Yeah. But
did you have a problem with drugs and alcohol?
No, I didn't have a problem. But I could always find them.
Right.
No, I never had a problem. I was very fortunate because I was around a lot of guys that couldn't and did have problems, and it's really tough to watch.
I feel like that helped Tony.
Same. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Saw so many of my peers fall down that path and watched their skills fade, and I was like, no, can't do that.
Yeah, that just witnessing that.
Yep.
A lot of times it'll just say, there's nothing in that field. I need nothing of that.
When it got later on in your career and you were doing matches, would you still want to do a match right now if you're
Absolutely.
Right.
If I was physically able to do it, I would be out there right now.
So does it come to the last couple of matches? your body is trying to not cooperate, but you're doing it. A lot of stress because people are like, you're a legend, you're back, he's back. Like, is he going to be, because people just want you to stay in this pocket of the 80s where your body flies over like you were 28, but you're not.
Yeah.
What's that like?
And it's crazy because there's a huge amount of our fan base that will even grade you on a curve. Like, they understand that you're getting long in the tooth. You've got a lot of miles on you, but they just want you out there.
Right.
And then there's that one part of the fan base like, man, he's old. He shouldn't be out there. He shouldn't be doing this.
But it's mostly
feel
positive.
that. I think
But
I feel that exact fan base.
I think it's turned around a lot for skateboarding because lately, old guys, when we skate, there's a lot more appreciation from the younger than I ever recall.
Yeah. And that's what it's like. I would be without any hesitation at all. If I felt like I could go and deliver and be and deliver a performance that people expect when they see my name on the card.
Yep.
I would do it, but I know I can't. And that's the
Has that been a difficult transition?
It has been a horrible transition for me.
Because I remember not being a skateboarder, like the way I see myself and being normal.
Yeah.
Is what I called it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not going to work for me. I gotta find something to, go insane on.
Yes.
I found radio and fighting and comedy, but it had to be all those things to match the one skateboard thing.
Yes. I don't know that I'll ever find a passion like I did for actually being in the ring.
Right.
I'm doing the one-man show and I'm enjoying that. And it's it's new to me. So I can pour myself into it again, but I don't know that I will ever have that passion that wrestling gave to me. And then, there again, you watch I watch the product and I'm thinking like, damn, I would have done that different. I would have done it this way.
I know, right?
And you're kind of like, oh man, I wish, why don't you work?
Yeah.
Right?
What was the spark in the beginning?
It was,
or the moment like where you had epiphany that this is it.
it was crazy. Like, so I'm in college playing basketball and I start my training between my junior and senior year of college. I start training to be a wrestler. And the whole goal back then when guys would train you is to run you off. They want to take your money. It was a big scam, right?
Wow.
So they want to take your money and then run you off. So basically they PT you to death, right? They just run you and just do everything they can to wear you out, tire you out, break your will. And it was just like, and that's exactly what happened to me. And I'm in the ring with a really good not in the ring. I'm actually in his yard. The guy's name was Buzz Sawyer, and so we conditioned for 2 hours straight. And then Buzz comes out, and then amateur wrestles us, right? And I mean, man, amateur wrestling is totally, it's so legit, and it's so. And if you're not a wrestler, I mean, you're helpless, or you really are.
It's probably the best martial art.
I think so. I mean, to
Like
be able to
if you just-
protect yourself.
Right. Like
Right.
if you're in trouble and you have a pedigree,
Yes.
you're throwing that guy around.
You can throw them down or hold them down until
Right.
something else happens.
Yep.
Yeah. But so here I am, and growing up in Texas, at that time there wasn't a real big amateur wrestling program.
Okay.
It came later on to Texas. Now boxing and all that was fine, but wrestling was a whole different deal. And he'd wear us out, man. And then he'd come out and just, cross face us and just wrench us and all. The whole thing was to run you off, is to get rid of you.
Yeah.
And, then he just, he's like, well, you quit.
Well, that all adds up as to why you guys can do a show every day of the year, because you went to a school where people immediately tried to destroy you.
Yeah.
So if you're even somewhat substantial of a wrestler, that means you stayed through this ridiculousness. So now you're like, whatever, I'm wrestling every day. Like I just
at least
got
I'm getting
brutalized.
paid. Yeah, and I'm getting paid, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting paid to do it. And no, it definitely weeded. I think I started.
Yeah.
There was 15 to 20 guys started, and I was the only one that came out and made it. So
What was the moment where you said, "Oh, this is it"?
I don't know.
Were you
I
the
think-
Undertaker the whole time?
No. I
Right.
had so many different names until I didn't become Undertaker until 1990.
Were the other names?
You wouldn't even know them. I mean,
Right,
they were all
successful.
irrelevant. They weren't successful. No,
Was Undertaker immediate?
Undertaker kind of it took off from the get go.
So is that like a feel like when Tony's saying when did you feel like things were happening? Would that be close?
Well,
to
no,
it?
I was climbing the ladder. I was still getting. I was told right before I became Undertaker, I was in WCW, and I was trying to renegotiate my contract. And I would go into the CNN building there in downtown Atlanta.
You were manager or just you?
That was just me.
Hell
Just
yeah.
me doing it. And I was like, I was just looking for a little bump in my my pay. I wasn't trying to break the bank. I knew I was still green and I still had a lot to learn, but I needed more money.
Yeah.
And I remember them looking directly in me, right in my eyes, and they go, you're a really athletic guy. He goes, but no one's ever going to pay money to see you wrestle. I was like, okay.
That's it.
That was it. And at that point, I said, okay, well, my days here are numbered now. Like they've already gave me a ceiling, and they've basically let me know there's absolutely zero future for me.
Right.
And
that's inspiring.
oh yeah, it did. I could have took
lit a
that two
fire.
ways. I could have folded, but it lit another fire under me.
Yep.
That said, no, I'm going to prove these wrong.
Right.
Because, and that's how that was my mentality and all that I'd been through already to get to that point, only to get, I think now I've made it.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the fast train to the top. And then bam, I get a hit with a dose of reality. Like, yeah, you're not ever going to draw money. People are never going to pay money to see you wrestle. Whew, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the initial the initial fire was just once I started training. And it was just like, yeah, this is, and I had no taste of really anything that was going to happen, but it was just like, yeah, this is cool. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was really passionate about playing basketball until that fire lit, and then I could care less about basketball. I could care less to this day about
So
basketball.
cool.
So
Were you around? And sorry, I don't know the years exactly, but the whole Andy Kaufman thing.
that was before my time.
That was before your time.
But I do remember it
Yeah.
very, very clearly. And man, that was huge.
That was huge.
Yeah. I mean, that was, because that was back. So
Do you know
in
about
that
that?
era,
Andy Kaufman? Yeah.
in that era, our guys still defended wrestling as being 100% legit.
Right.
I mean, you remember, I don't know if you remember David Schultz slapping John Stossel.
Yeah.
Didn't he deafen him?
Oh my gosh, he knocked the shit out of
Like
him.
he perforated
He
his
said, well, I
eardrum?
think this is all fake. And man, he just
Yeah.
went, whack.
Yeah.
There he went. He
Yeah.
says, is that fake?
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh. Yeah. And this is all before I got
That was
it.
a really
Were you
good
thankful
comeback.
that you didn't have to live through those times?
To a little bit, I did.
wanted
Not to
to
that
slap
degree. I would have.
He wanted to
I
slap
didn't want to
him.
slap him. Period. But that time period, the guys were still very, they were very protective of our industry.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was like people were like, oh, I can't believe that wrestler slapped him, and it was awesome, man. They did such.
I was going to
big
say
business.
that all of that. I mean, that's the controversy. That's the buzz that I remember. So it works. So the idea that they were protective, that was a great move.
And that was Andy's deal too. I mean, he he loved wrestling.
Yeah.
And that was his idea. And he went to the hospital. He stayed in the hospital. I mean, all of it.
He was so great.
He was so invested in that,
Yep.
and it paid off big time for him. Yeah.
Is there anybody in wrestling that you don't like? Like a competitor that we all know of, or you're like, I never liked that guy. He was always
No,
a dick.
there's guys. I mean, it's just like any business that there's guys that you like and there's guys that you don't like, and
But they never got under your skin, kind of thing,
not
Did
my
it ever get
issues.
real in the ring?
My issues more so. I can always. I mean, business being business. Like I can talk. I may not like you personally, but I'm gonna when I come into a dressing room or when I come into an arena, I'm gonna go up to you and I'm gonna shake your hand,
Right.
and that's all I have to do.
Right.
Right. But it's just a matter of respect that I have for everybody that I work with.
Right.
I'm not going to go out and drink with you. I'm not going to party with you. I'm not going to, but I will do that. And then there was a lot of guys that I didn't particularly care for on a personal note.
Right, because I feel like some people, seems just from the wrestlers we had on the show the other day that were a newer breed and talking about, they seem like they were being professional or a lot more professional with their bodies. And say, I was like, you guys all get wasted after the show? He's like, no, not every, it's not like that anymore. Sure, there's a few, but it's not like back in the day where it wasn't.
But they have examples to go by where there's no longevity to that.
Right.
Yeah. No, the guys, they absolutely are they take better care. They don't have the bad habits. And it was just, it was kind of the culture. It was, the guys blew off steam by going to the bar and drinking. And then sometimes it manifested into something far worse.
Right. But it's still one of the most amazing humans on the planet is an American wrestler in the 80s that was doing this, getting hurt, being mangled, doing bumps at the strip club, and being a giant human on top of it. Like everywhere I go, I'm twice as big as all of you. And it's like, who's that? Like, come here, like a beer. Like, it's like you're doing a life where.
Were you there?
What the hell? I was in the skateboard corner pretending to be you guys.
Yes.
I'm a little wrestler.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
oh man, I want to be in his head.
It is wild.
How about that commercial we did?
I was so hyped to see your name on there.
It was a lot of fun.
That was really cool. Yeah.
That was a good switch of subjects right there. We were about to go down a road I didn't know that there was an end to there.
I'm pretty sure this is my cue to leave. Would you slap me before I leave?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
He literally has to go get his kid from school. So.
Oh, I'm not. No, I don't want to slap you.
Oh, you don't want to? Because it would be good for the show.
Yeah, it would be great for the show, but it wouldn't be. No.
Good for you. Okay, fair enough.
No, good.
Just let it be known I was prepared to die for the show.
I like that. That's.
If you got up and was like, I don't even really like you, kid. Get over here and I'll slap you. I'd be like, Tony, I love you, man. Let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
He got hit by Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She slapped me and she elbowed me because I said, how do you elbow someone in the face? And she's like, I could do it. And I was like, okay, go. And then she elbowed me in the collarbone. Oh. I thought you were going to hit me in the head.
No, it's here. Here, you can't hit people in the head.
Why not?
Because then you'll actually injure them.
Oh. I was like, wait, it's not in the face. She's like, yeah, we can't elbow you in the face. That would kind of knock you out. And I was like, oh, I see that angle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm a dinosaur, man.
He slapped him in the face.
Yeah, I'm a dinosaur.
Of course.
I'm a dinosaur. You put me on the spot like that, I'm gonna have to rail you.
I'm glad she came up before you then.
Yeah, no, that's just, off camera, yeah, okay, this is how this happens. But on camera, I got to protect my business. Man.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock it out of you.
I respect that.
I'll tell you I'm sorry later. But
well, he would endure that for the
Yeah,
show,
well-
just so you know.
Well,
we'd have to do that.
Like and describe, baby. I'll just be asleep over here in the corner. Don't worry about it. I'll wake up eventually.
hey, Tony, how many hits that get?
You know what's crazy is you know how many times he's seen me go, hey, Tony, like, where am I? Like, it's quite a few. So it wouldn't be too much of a surprise for him.
You would fit right in with my crew, guys. You really would.
Hell yeah.
You're like Triple H. Like Triple H, he doesn't have any bad habits, or he never drank, but he was always out with us.
Who am I like?
Huh?
Who am I like?
You're just about like everybody else. Like you're
All the people you heard stories
80s
about.
wrestlers?
All the people you heard stories about. That's you.
Yes.
Yeah, you would assimilate really well into that group.
I think if I was way taller, I could have been a great wrestler.
Well, dude, you'd be fine out in this day and age. I mean, look,
I like bouncing
Darby
off
was-
stuff. Yeah, Darby.
he's a
good
little
point.
dude. He's a little dude. That's crazy. Like when I came up, like everybody was just enormous, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody had to be 300 pounds and 6'5", and
They wouldn't contemplate a guy that could do somersaults,
Yeah,
right? It was only
right.
Is it who's the first little guy that was successful?
Rey Mysterio
Right, that's how I thought
was
it-
really successful. And
Right.
guys like, Eddie Guerrero was phenomenal. I mean, he was phenomenal. He wasn't a big guy.
Yeah.
He was pretty buff, but
Yeah.
he wasn't a really big guy. Kurt Angle,
Oh yeah.
I mean, who cares? He win an Olympic gold medal wrestling. Well, man,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
easy. But I mean, he wasn't.
Yeah.
We're talking about the real thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That was minor leagues.
Yeah, that was the minor leagues. Ask me,
Amateur.
okay, what did he get paid in professional wrestling as opposed to getting that gold medal? No, but phenomenal. Just but now, yeah, there's a lot of guys now that you would think like, wow, that's not a very big guy,
Yeah.
and they're just incredible. The things that the guys do today, they're like video games. They really are.
That's what it's like in skateboarding.
I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Like the things they do are things I couldn't even imagine. Right, my creativity wasn't even anywhere close to what they're actually performing in the ring.
Yep.
I do think it kind of, as great as they are, and athletically, I think they need to pull back a little bit on it, just for their own longevity.
Oh.
Because what happens a lot of times with these guys that work like that,
They got to outdo themselves.
it's so good. That's exactly where I was
Yeah.
going.
Right.
Because you rely on that athleticism and our audience. You know what
It's
your
just
audience is.
impossible measure.
And if you have
Yeah.
to do something really technically difficult, physically difficult, also every night, like we know, like I've done some pretty hard tricks, but if I did that particular really hard trick every night, that's a 50-50 that one of them's going bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm testing I'm pushing it
You're
to
pushing
the
the limits.
absolute limit to make it,
Exactly.
which means a lot of times that doesn't work.
And that's exactly what a lot of the guys do.
Right.
They can't. I'm a story. I always consider myself a storyteller when I'm in the ring. I'm trying to tell you a story.
Yeah.
I'm not. Wrestling to me is not about wrestling moves. We use the wrestling moves to help tell the story.
Yeah.
Now there's kind of a switch kind of moving now where it's all about the moves and being
wow.
able to do these things.
Yeah.
But what happens, and with our audience becomes, they get so desensitized. Like, okay, this guy is on the top rope. He does a double backflip onto a guy onto the floor, and now they've seen you do that a couple of times.
Yep.
Now they're like, I've seen you do that.
yeah.
Right.
So what do you have to do? Now you got to add a twist. Now you've got two flips and a twist, and now you've raised the degree of difficulty exponentially
Yeah.
to and then you figure out all the times that you do that
Yeah.
within any given match. And I'm sure it's the same in y'all's world. You're only a couple of inches away from something really catastrophic
Yeah.
happening.
Yes.
Right?
As I can
Yeah.
attest with my last injury. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it'd be like if he had to do a 900 at every demo.
Oh my gosh.
He wouldn't be sitting here.
I mean,
I tried. No.
yeah. I mean, that's just the thing. You for longevity's sake, and just your taking your threat level out of what you do.
Yeah.
You just
yeah.
So less acting these days. Like less off, with the drama, like someone did this and then they're going to fight. Is there less of that?
It's there. I don't think it's done as well
Okay.
because I don't think they have enough. A lot of the guys, some do, but a lot of the guys don't have enough life experience
Right.
to draw from.
Is it because they're younger?
I just think they've come up differently.
Okay.
And again, there's no one more proud of the evolution of our business
Yep.
to being where it is now and the way that the athletes are treated.
Right.
I mean, it's night and day. I mean, the guys are taken care of now,
Good.
and that is good because it wasn't always like that.
But you guys were paving the way for that in
Yeah.
the most difficult circumstances.
Exactly. And
I mean, we feel the same way. Like when you look at skateboarding, and especially our type of skateboarding, now they have foam pits and
Right.
soft
Right.
landings, and we're like, wait, we didn't. What? What are
Right.
you talking about?
and you think, well, that's really brilliant.
Yeah, it's really.
But
Oh, I'm not saying if they had to put it up when I was a kid that I wouldn't have used it. I definitely would
Yeah,
have
hell
used
yeah,
it.
you would have. But it wasn't an option because it wasn't thought
It
of.
wasn't an option.
Yeah. And it was the same way with us. So it's good. it's good that we've evolved into that, and wrestlers are treated just like any other major sports franchise team, with all the medical attention and trainers and all of that. But they don't have the life stories and the stuff to draw from.
Yeah.
When I left school, and I'm trying to make it in wrestling, and everybody's told me that it's I'm stupid for doing it, and you should do this.
Builds
And
character.
I'm not going to help. I'm not going to take anything from anybody now. I'm not going to take any help because this is my decision. I'm going to do it. I'm living in my car, right? I'm bouncing in all the bars that I can bounce and fighting people just so I can make $5 an hour.
Right.
But later on, when I'm trying to tell a story on TV, I know exactly what it feels like to get hit,
Right. You've been in it,
blindsided,
yeah.
or get stabbed or get hit with that. You just, those are things like I know how to draw from that.
Right.
And I don't know that most of these guys today have that, and that hurts their storytelling.
Right. If you make it through, then you have more character. You've built a tolerance. You've been through it.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. I mean, the product is different, and I'm not gonna, it's just the way it is, and I prefer the way I came up.
Yeah.
But
Well, we're also thankful for you to come this far and to tell your stories, because I think that's hugely important to the history of it. Also, just to the lessons learned, because a lot of people could come in and out and then be like, "No, I'm done with that. I don't even want to talk about it."
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool that you still surround yourself with it and give these lessons and these stories to the new generations.
And that you're doing good. Like you're totally here and you're healthy and you seem like you're happy, and it's like all those things he went through. He's doing great now. So like, what's your secret? Like, what are you like? If I was a wrestler, I'm not even a wrestler. Just how do you make it this far going through all that stuff?
Honestly, I've been incredibly blessed, and then having and being, I guess it's really unfortunate, but seeing a lot of my friends die.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that has really been a sobering, and I've buried way too many friends.
Right.
In this business, and it's just like, man, I never saw that one coming.
Dude.
Right.
But so it's good that these guys today don't have the same habits and the same,
Well, they have you as an example.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you live in proof.
I do want to tell you before you go, so you met our friend Rick and walked in. He texted me just minutes later after he left. He goes, "I just realized it's the Undertaker."
He's hit his head a lot too in his defense.
Yes, yeah, but he wanted you to know that there is a BMX trick called the Undertaker.
Oh, really?
If you didn't know that,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty cool. I have to look that up.
Yeah.
He was probably like going, "Who was that old fucker that was there with you guys?" Like,
Oh no, he's our age, from the same. He identifies with people who've done a lot of active stuff like we have. Yeah, so I think he probably recognized that, and then when he was leaving,
come on, guys, we're not too old for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we just have to alter it a little bit. That's all.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Hey, thanks for making time for us.
Yeah,
man, I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Man.
You
Honor
came
to talk to you, mate.
straight from Tyson's show to ours. What an honor.
I'm making both of you guys honorary wrestlers, man. You've definitely got the mindset for it.
Yeah.
Woo!
I suplex fools. So
You suplex full.
hell yeah. I drop fools on their head. I got a couple moves. You'd be surprised.
I bet you do,
I do backflips off the ropes.
Just take a board and smash somebody with it. Right?
That's the one thing I didn't do is beat people with my skateboard while wrestling.
See, that was
when
a
you
miss.
totally
That
can't.
was
I
a
know, 'cause
miss.
Darby-
I have that
Darby has
prop
taken it.
skateboard that
with
that's
the
rubber.
tacks on it?
Yeah, no, I have the prop that's rubber, but it looks solid.
use that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I stole it from a TV set.
I'm doing a wrestling fight.
I got hit in the head with it on the show, so I took it home.
You deserved it then. You took it
Thank
with you.
you.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
All right. Well, hey, thanks again. That was a blast.
Thanks, guys. I enjoyed it.
Like and describe.